Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 19th of September 2024. And yesterday guys, the FOMC meeting was out and Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually decide to go ahead and cut the interest rate by 50 basis points. This, to be honest guys, was an absolute shocker. Now on a positive note, this has definitely impacted the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in a positive way. But look guys, I have to warn this. When the Fed goes ahead and reduces the interest rate hike, temporarily there could be a possibility that the prices would be bumping up, and over the next coming weeks and months, there is a very high possibility that the prices could go down as well. And the reasoning for that is pretty simple guys. Just 2 weeks ago the economic data was out, isn't it? And that did lead to a massive crash not just in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world, but in the stock market world as well. Now what that data actually states guys, that the US economy is definitely not doing good, but in comparison to other countries, the US economy is fairly better. So in a nutshell guys, because of the left-leaning administration, the United States of America's economy is kind of best among the worst. So these are things you need to be aware of as well. Now look guys, one of the most important events that is going to take place later this year, that is the US elections, isn't it? And I'm pretty much sure once President Donald Trump gets re-elected, it would reflect positively so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and explain what the decision by the Federal Reserve Board is and what kind of an impact does it have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And then guys, I'll go ahead and discuss another interesting news, and this is to do with BitGo. And they did make an announcement at Token 2049, which is currently taking place in Singapore by the way, that they are launching a stablecoin, and the ticker symbol for that is USDS. Now look guys, a lot of people are getting ventured into stablecoin, isn't it? And what I'll be doing guys in the month of October, I'll go ahead and have a session explaining what stablecoins are, what are the challenges with stablecoins, and are stablecoins turning out to be a safe haven against cryptocurrencies. So in one of the sessions that I'll be doing next week guys, I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding the event that I'm conducting. Now look guys, so far as decentralization is concerned, there are a lot of talks about data being stored into decentralized protocol, isn't it? And that is something which one of the leading company, that is Decrypt, are venturing. And Decrypt guys, they are planning on decentralization storage. So I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. So what would essentially happen is, Decrypt's media articles and videos will be stored on a decentralized protocol, and looks like they're using Sui Protocol's Walrus. So I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now we do have another really interesting news guys, and this is by one of the giants company in the so-called Web3 space, and that is Amnico, and looks like they're considering going public, and I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now look guys, I hate saying this, pretty much all of the Amnica protocols that are connected to Metaverse, at least for now, looks like it is a failure, isn't it? But so far as Web3 protocols are concerned, I'm pretty much sure they are well-known brand, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now the final newscast for this particular week has to do with US Security and Exchange Commission, and they have charged 3 individuals and 5 companies, and this is more to do with pig butchering scams. So I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now look guys, you may not be liking what US Security and Exchange Commission is doing, but at the outset you also need to remember, their role is to protect investors, keep the market relatively stable, as well as protect average individuals like you and me, isn't it? So keeping this thing in mind, I'm pretty much sure this news is kind of like a positive news. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is definitely massive news, and this is to do with CoinMena and Mesh team. They have teamed up with CoinMena Free Zone Establishment to optimize crypto onboarding in the MENA region, and the CEO of CoinMena guys, he definitely was excited about this news, and he posted it via LinkedIn as well. Now I'd really recommend you to follow him on LinkedIn guys, and based on my understanding he's more of a Bitcoin guy, not necessarily a cryptocurrency or so-called Web3 world, to be honest. Now the second news guys has to do with artificial intelligence, and Sheikh Hamdan, he actually made an announcement that Dubai schools will soon have AI qualified teachers, and I did actually go ahead and touch base on this news roughly around 6 months ago. Now look guys, so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, it is really great to see that the government of United Arab Emirates as well as Saudi Arabia are taking leaps and bounds. And based on my experience guys, in comparison to let's say cryptocurrency and blockchain, artificial intelligence, the technology is already here and it is already being developed. But so far as cryptocurrency and blockchain is concerned, 90% of the news are just in initial planning phase, isn't it? and this has been going on for more than a decade in my opinion. So let me know guys, what are your thoughts regarding user adoption of artificial intelligence is concerned in comparison to, let's say, cryptocurrency or blockchain. Mention them in the comments below. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, are you ready to unleash the world within guys? Now listen guys, if you're passionate about adventure, looking to escape the summer heat, Wolfpack Adventures, they have got precisely something for you. They invited the Snake Canyon Adventure in Valiat, Oman, which is taking place on the 21st and 22nd of this month. Now this is not going to be an ordinary event guys. This thrilling 2-day adventure does involve a 1-night canoeing experience, and it is designed for adventures of all levels, from beginners to seasoned explorers as well. Now mind you guys, there are only 20 spots available now, and this is an exclusive adventure event you don't want to miss, and all of this is only for 650 dirhams. Now listen guys, you need to hurry on this because the deadline to register is on the 17th of September. Now if you do want to learn more guys, in the show notes below there is a WhatsApp group, so definitely feel free to sign up and definitely go to the itinerary as well. Now look guys, this event is an absolutely massive one, and Wolfpack Adventures guys, they're kind of like the OGs of fast hiking and adventures concerned. You definitely don't want to miss this. So unleash the wolf within and let's make this September one to remember, and hopefully guys you participate in this event and many more events by them. Next, guys listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now if you look at the global cryptocurrency market guys, it is definitely pumped up a lot, and that is because of the FOMC meeting. And I've been saying this for almost a month now, isn't it? Because what happened is, on the 1st of August, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that the economic conditions in US are looking fairly good and they're definitely going to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, but he did not decide on the amount guys. People were anticipating that he will actually reduce it by 25 basis points, but he went ahead and reduced it even further to 50 basis points. Now what this essentially means guys is that the market in the United States of America is doing better, and because of that, people can go ahead and buy more loans, and that has indirectly impacted the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as well, isn't it? Now via LinkedIn guys, I did see someone posting that when the interest rate goes down, it is not good for traditional markets. That is definitely not true guys. Whenever there is a reduction in the interest rates, it just means that people can go ahead and take out more loans, and that is great so far as the prices are concerned, and so far as traditional finance is concerned, it is definitely much better. Now what happens is, because people are getting into traditional finance, they are thinking why not go ahead and invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and only because of that reason guys, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumping up. Now in an idealistic world guys, it should happen exactly the opposite. How it should work is, let's say Federal Chair Jerome Powell reduces the interest rate, it would mean that the traditional market, the stock market is doing great, and because of that, why should I go ahead and buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Now we are not there yet. Hopefully in a couple of decades we will be at a place where a reduction in the interest rate will actually decrease the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and conversely guys, if Federal Chair Jerome Powell increases the interest rate, it would actually mean that the market is not doing good and the traditional market would suffer. And if that happens guys, are Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies turning out to be a safe haven against inflation, and that should be the time when the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies should be pumping up. It might take at least a couple of decades for that thing to happen, and once that thing happens guys, we could confidently state that possibly we are heading to a separation of money and the state. That is my honest opinion. Now if you look at the global cryptocurrency market guys, it is right now at $2.14 trillion. Now look guys, only because of this announcement, roughly $140 billion got added into the cryptocurrency market, and this happened in just a matter of 3 to 4 hours after the announcement. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market guys, it is definitely pumped up by well over 3% since the last 24 hours. Now if you look at the volume of the global cryptocurrency market, it is almost at $100 billion. It is at $93.60 billion. Now look guys, if you actually compare this with the 24-hour trading volume, look at the volume of stable coins, it just means one thing, that people are buying a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and they're definitely using a lot of fiat currencies either to buy a lot of stable coins and convert that stable coins onto Bitcoin or Ethereum, or directly are buying a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume guys, because of the announcement, it is actually up by 21.14%. Now what I want to do next guys is, I want to go ahead and touch base on one of the metrics that I definitely am not liking, because I really want to see this number to be around the 15 to 16% mark, and that is the volume in DeFi. Now look guys, I hate saying this, no matter what is happening in the Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrency, blockchain world, the volume in DeFi is not impacted at all. And despite the global cryptocurrency market pumping up, the volume in DeFi is still below the $5 billion mark. It is only at $4.56 billion. And since the last 24 hours, guys, DeFi is accounting for only 4.87% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. So this begs this really challenging and controversial question: is DeFi dead? Based on the number, guys, unfortunately that is what it looks like, isn't it? I really would like to see the volume of DeFi, guys, to be around the $15 to $20 billion mark, and DeFi, in my opinion, guys, should be accounting for roughly 30 to 40% of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Hopefully, guys, with MakerDAO rebranding and with President Donald Trump's new DeFi protocol, that is World Liberty Token, we might see an uptick in the volume of DeFi protocols. Let's try to be positive. Now, so far, the total value locked is concerned, that is marginally pumped up, and today it is at $82.45 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance, guys, Lido is still dominating with $23.65 billion. Now another metric, guys, which I'm definitely not liking, particularly since the last 8 weeks, that is the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, and unfortunately, guys, that is also down, and it is below the 20% mark, and it is only at 18.34%. And look, as I've said this thing so many times, once the world is ready for decentralization, one metric that would pump up is the decentralized to centralized exchange percentage, and I'm hoping that number to be around the 40% mark, not just for one day, but consistently at least for over 6 months or longer. Hopefully, guys, you might actually see that. Now, I hate saying this, guys. The only way that thing is possible is if the fiat currency completely collapses, and I'm definitely not hoping for such an unfortunate event, to be honest. But look, guys, so far as the geopolitical situation is concerned, the world is heading towards World War III, isn't it? So I do feel we definitely need to be onboarded with digital currencies. Now what I want to do next, guys, is I want to run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, and it's no surprise that Uniswap is leading the pack, but the volume is slightly over the $1 billion mark. It is at $1.12 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 2nd. Its volume is $664.78 million. Orca is at number 3rd. Its volume is $372.45 million. Aerodrome, guys, is at number 4th. Its volume is $334.41 million, and Radium, guys, is at number 5th. Its volume is $303.21 million. Now look, guys, I'd really like to have seen this number at least 20 to 30% of much higher than what it is right now, because the global cryptocurrency market has pumped up, isn't it? And usually what happens is, whenever there is an uptick in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, the volume in decentralized exchanges usually tends to pump up, but that has not been happening since the last few hours. Now if you look at the volume of stablecoins, guys, it is definitely pumped up, and right now it is at $85.59 billion, and stablecoins as of today is accounting for 91.45% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $85.59 billion, guys, Tether USDT is accounting for a majority of the chunk at $71.69 billion, and Circle USDC, guys, is at number 2nd. Its volume is $7.88 billion. FDUSD is at number 3rd. Its volume is $6.30 billion. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me go ahead and look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now straight off the bat, guys, the dominance of Bitcoin has actually bumped up, and right now it is at 57.13%. Now regarding Bitcoin, guys, since the last 24 hours, there are a lot of positive news, keeping in mind the US elections coming up. President Donald Trump, he did actually go to a bar, and he did actually go out and use Bitcoin. Now what is a bit interesting to note, guys, is that President Donald Trump does not drink alcohol, so he probably used the transaction just to pay for someone. And along with that, there are quite a lot of governors who have put out a statement that they've already started accepting Bitcoin as payments, and this has already been taken into effect. Now because of that, guys, there's a lot of development going on, particularly in Bitcoin, isn't it? Ethereum, unfortunately, guys, is not doing that great, and if you look at its dominance, it is at 13.90%, and despite the market pumping up, guys, Ethereum's market cap is below the $300 billion mark. It is only at $291 billion, whereas Bitcoin's market cap has definitely pumped up, but it is still below when Bitcoin was at its all-time high going back to 2020. In 2020, guys, Bitcoin's market cap did actually cross a $1.30 trillion, but right now, that is 19th of September 2024, Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.22 trillion. Now look, guys, I do have this feeling next week there is a very high chance that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be going down, and the reasoning is pretty simple, guys. Look, Jerome Powell reducing the interest rate is definitely great for the traditional market as well as for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Unfortunately, guys, the economic data that got released 2 weeks, that is definitely not looking good. So based on my understanding, guys, I wouldn't be surprised the next week and the following week we might actually see a reduction in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And there is US elections coming up, and there is so much of geopolitical chaos going on right now. Keeping all this thing in mind, guys, I do envision the next week and the week after that we must see extreme price volatility in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Now let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Or do you think the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be heading in a positive direction? Now look, guys, all this thing being said, it is really important to note that all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time, isn't it? Now, so far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is at $46.76 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is almost half of that of Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume. It is at $20.43 billion. Now, what I want to do in today's episode, guys, I want to run through the matrix regarding decentralized apps that are currently working only on Binance BNB chain. And this week, guys, we looked at decentralized apps that were working across all the blockchain. We looked at decentralized apps that were working only on Ethereum as well. And what I want to do next, guys, is I want to go and look at decentralized apps that are working only on Binance BNB chain. And that would give us some idea as to which decentralized app has been used the most, isn't it? So look, guys, I'm looking at two matrix. I'm looking at the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract over a period of time. And then, guys, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and read out the numbers with reference to unique active wallets. So the second matrix, guys, is the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transactions with decentralized app smart contract over a period of time. Now the second matrix, guys, most of the time it is less, and that usually does not mean that so many people are using the smart contract. What that means is that these are the number of smart contracts, and there is a very high possibility in these smart contracts there might be hundreds if not thousands of people using the smart contract. Now if you look at the top 5 decentralized apps working on Binance BNB chain, guys, the first one is PancakeSwap version 3, and if you look at it in terms of dollar amount, it is $314 million. And if you look at the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transaction with decentralized app smart contract for PancakeSwap version 3, it is 16,140. Now what you can do is, guys, you can go to dappradar.com and you can run through some of these numbers. You can sort it based on whatever matrix you want to. Now the second one, guys, is PancakeSwap version 2. In terms of dollar amount, it is $232.54 million. In terms of wallet interactions, it is 2,780. Now check the third and the fourth one, guys, because the third one is Venus Protocol and it is working only on Binance BNB Smart Chain. And if you look at it in terms of dollar amount, it is $138.72 million. But if you look at the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transactions with Venus Protocol since the last 24 hours, it is 604. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, this does not mean that there are only 606 people using the smart contract, because that amount is ridiculously low considering the fact that it is the third most decentralized app that is used in Binance BNB Smart Chain, isn't it? Now the fourth one is exactly the same as well, guys, and that is Trade Signal, and it is working only on Binance BNB Smart Chain. In terms of dollar amount, it is $64.26 million, and the wallet interaction is 674. Now the fifth one, guys, is OX Protocol. In terms of dollar amount, it is $51.95 million, and in terms of wallet interactions, it is 3,940. Now look, guys, later on I'm going to be discussing news regarding Omnico Brands. They are planning to do an IPO, isn't it? Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, try to look at the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transactions that are under the Omnico Brands umbrella, and you would be surprised. Some of them are even in single digits. I'm literally talking about some of the top 3 or top 5 protocols under the Omnico Brands umbrella, and these numbers are absolutely dreadful and scary considering the fact we hype so much about Web3, isn't it? Now, guys, let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin, guys, is $62,062, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 2.73%, and since the last 7 days it is up by 7.17%. Now look, guys, what I tend to do is every time Jerome Powell goes live, I tend to look at the prices 3 to 4 hours before he goes live, while he is live, and 3 to 4 hours after he is live. Now what usually happens is 3 to 4 hours after he is live, that is when we tend to see an uptick in the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And in just a few minutes, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss why that thing happens. Now, so far as the price of Ethereum is concerned, since the last 24 hours, it is definitely pumped up, but unfortunately, guys, it is still below the $2,500 mark. It is at $2,423, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.90%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.90%. If you look at Binance BNB Coin, guys, to be honest, it hasn't pumped a lot. It is only at $557, but since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.19%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.87%. Now look, guys, yesterday was a massive deal, and Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell reduced the interest rate to 50 basis points, and this is the first time it has happened in 4 years. So look, guys, it gives you an idea as to how bad the left-leaning administration was doing, isn't it? Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, rather than reading articles from mainstream media, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually go live via the Federal Reserve Board YouTube channel. So I'd really recommend you to go and listen to what he said. And he did actually give his reasoning as to why he has decided to reduce the interest rate to 50 basis points. And also it's important to note, guys, that this has positively impacted the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And in Dubai, guys, the very first thing I saw in the newspaper that they have reduced the interest rate by 50 basis points in UAE as well. Now look, guys, in the United States of America, it's really important to note that after raising the policy rate by 5.25 percentage points in March of 2022, this reduction by 50 basis points is one of the swiftest Fed reaction to combat the worst outbreak in inflation in 40 years. So under the Biden administration, guys, the inflation did actually rise to the highest in 40 years, and because of that, the Federal Reserve Board did actually hold on to the rate since July of 2023 to anchor on high inflation, and they were focusing on consistently bringing down the interest rate to 2% range. Now look, guys, as I mentioned earlier as well, what is really important to understand, what Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state in the meeting, and he constantly stressed that the labor market in the United States of America right now is in an extremely strong place. And he actually said, so far as the unemployment rate is concerned, United States of America's unemployment rate is definitely healthy. Now look, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell looks at economic data. He looks at quite a lot of information, isn't it? Now on a side note, guys, it's really important to note, so far as the labor and statistics information is concerned, in March of this year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics accidentally added 818,000 jobs. Now you can make an argument if it was an accident or there's some notorious intentions behind it, because there was a whistleblower who did actually state that they were forced to add 818,000 jobs. Now look, guys, unfortunately this 818,000 jobs will not be deducted now, rather it will be deducted in March of 2025. Now could it be possible that 818,000 jobs that got added does temporarily now show that the unemployment rate is doing fine? I definitely do think so, and because of the mainstream media, guys, that were present, who were extremely left-leaning, they did not even bother to ask Federal Chair Jerome Powell this question. I'm pretty much sure if they would have asked him, he would have definitely stated that that thing what did actually take place in March of this year was absolutely a notorious intent. And look, as you also need to check, why is mainstream media not talking about it? And the answer to that is pretty simple, guys. Because of US elections coming up, they want to go and paste an artificial image for the left-leaning administration, isn't it? So look, so far as the labor market condition is concerned, in March of 2025, 818,000 jobs will be deducted. So most likely in the month of March, guys, we might see an increase in the interest rate as well. And also, guys, at the live session, Jerome Powell did have a question and answer session with mainstream media, and they did actually ask, should it be possible for the president to go and involve themselves in decision making that is done by the FOMC meeting? And Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that he's been involved with 4 presidents in his past, and the Federal Reserve Board has no political involvement. But look, so far as the CPI numbers, that is the inflation numbers, are out, that is managed by Bureau of Labor Statistics. That is a completely different entity from the Federal Reserve Board. And could it be possible that those entities are colluding with the left-leaning administration? Look, guys, knowing the notorious history of left-leaning politicians and ideologies, that is definitely a possibility. As a matter of fact, that is exactly what the whistleblower has said as well, isn't it? And if you actually go to the CPI website, guys, they have put a minus in front of 818,000 jobs, and they've actually mentioned that this was a reporting error. Now look, guys, historically errors do happen, but the error is somewhere in the range of 2,000 or 2,000 jobs, but 818,000 jobs, That is absolutely catastrophic, isn't it? So I thought I'll go ahead and mention it, guys, so you guys get an understanding that in March of 2025, there will be a very high possibility of an increase in interest rate as well. Now guys, let me go ahead and discuss a new stable coin, that is USDS, and BitGo, guys, will launch a new dollar-backed stable coin called as USDS, and this will be done in January of 2025, and they will be offering rewards to institutions that provide liquidity to the network. Now look guys, this is an extremely centralized project, isn't it? And historically, guys, when you talk about stable coins, they definitely do not follow the ethos of open blockchain. They definitely have brilliant use cases. As a matter of fact, guys, stable coins do account for well over 85%. Certain cases even 95% of the total cryptocurrency market volume is in it. But look guys, when you talk about stable coins, according to me, they're just replacing the role of a bank. They definitely don't follow the ethos of open blockchain. But nonetheless guys, let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this news, because unlike other stable coins, BitGo's USDS stablecoin shares returns from its results with liquidity providers rather than the end users, and just like Tether USDT, guys, they will be backed by short-term treasury bills, overnight repos, and cash as well. And BitGo's USDS, guys, aims to create a fairer system compared to stablecoins like USDT and USDC. And BitGo CEO Mike Belch did actually make the announcement in Token 2049 that is taking place in Singapore. And BitGo, guys, plans to list USDS on major exchanges, targeting $10 billion in assets within a year. Now look guys, in the month of October, I do plan to have a session on stable coins, where I go out and talk about the history of stable coins, the use case of stable coins, do they follow the ethos of open blockchain, are they replacing a bank, and should we be fans of stable coins or should we be detractors? So I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this next week. Now in the meantime guys, you can go to eventbrite.com and just check the number of events that I'm conducting next month. And guys, if you do want to go ahead and sponsor that session or collaborate, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding Decrypt. Now look guys, in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, pretty much every episode I've taken articles from Decrypt, and I make sure that in every post I go ahead and give them full credit. Now the news is that they want to go ahead and store the media and articles in a Web3 platform, and Decrypt's media articles and videos, guys, will be stored on Sui Protocol Walrus, which is a decentralized storage protocol that is built on Sui network. And according to the post, guys, that would create a secure, tamper-proof archive. Now I think guys, with so much of censorship going on, it is definitely a great move, isn't it? And by doing this, guys, this would prevent content loss due to link rot and ensures the data can't be deleted by a single entity. And so far the decentralized storage protocol that is Walrus is concerned, it will also help Decrypt monetize content via Web3 integrations and offer more affordable storage options compared to centralized providers. Now look guys, it is definitely a genius move, but I'm really curious to check if it is beneficial, let's say by Google Cloud Services or something that Amazon or any centralized service provides. Now guys, let's go and touch base on some massive news regarding Omnico Brands. And Yatsu, guys, who's the CEO and founder of Omnico Brands, did actually tell CoinDesk that they are in the midway of an audit process, which is a critical piece of the IPO puzzle. So there is a very high possibility, guys, that they might be going in for a full-on IPO, but the final decision of the timeline does actually depend on market conditions. Now regarding Omnico Brands IPO plans, guys, I did actually hear about it earlier this year, and there were different locations that were thought about as well, that is Hong Kong and Middle East. But regarding Hong Kong, guys, it is definitely favored as the company is headquartered there as well. And regarding the audit, guys, Australia's DKF Collins is conducting the audit, which is one of the several confidence building measures for potential investors. Now look guys, so far as Omnico Brands are concerned, Omnico was previously listed in Australia, but was delisted in 2020 due to regulatory concerns related to cryptocurrencies. But following the delisting, guys, Omnico Brands' growth accelerated as the Australian Security Exchange had restrictions that limited Omnico's operations. So now, guys, the company is moving forward with the IPO, but several factors, as I mentioned earlier, must be settled before final timeline is decided. So look, guys, Omnico Brands doing an IPO will definitely be great for the founders. They will definitely make millions, if not billions, isn't it? Definitely good news to them, I guess. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding the SEC. And the Security and Exchange Commission, guys, has filed its first lawsuit against 3 individuals and 5 companies, and this was for pig botchering scams. And one of the cases involved NanoBit, defrauding 18 investors of nearly $1 million, while the other targets are CoinW6, which tricked 11 victims out of $2.2 million, and they did that by posing as romantic partners. Now both scams, guys, falsely showed profits and pressured victims to invest more, and the FBI also reported that $5.6 billion in crypto fraud losses were taking place in 2022, mostly from investment scams. Now, if you do want to see the official filing, guys, by the SEC, it is in the show notes below. Now look, guys, we definitely bash SEC quite a lot, isn't it? But look, what I'd really recommend you to do is go to the Twitter profile and constantly keep on checking some of the tweets. And even if you go to the website, guys, they do have quite a lot of useful information, and their role is pretty simple, guys: to protect investors, to protect the market and keep it an equal playing field, as well as protect average individual users like you and me, isn't it? So we need to be aware of those factors as well. So these were some macro level newscasts on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first newscast is regarding CoinMena, and they have teamed up with Mesh, and looks like they want to optimize crypto onboarding in the MENA region. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. And Mesh has announced a strategic partnership with CoinMena Freezing Establishment, which, as we know, is a leading digital asset trading platform in the Middle East, isn't it? And this partnership, guys, aims to optimize crypto onboarding and enhance digital asset transfers in the MENA region. And Mesh's API-based solution will be integrated into CoinMena's platform, improving the user experience. Now, CoinMena, guys, is licensed by Dubai's VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and CoinMena will allow users to buy, sell, send, receive and store digital assets, and the platform is accessible to users in 7 countries, that is United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar and Egypt as well. And Mesh's solution will simplify crypto transactions, making them more seamless and secure, and users, guys, will be able to access the CoinMena accounts from other platforms via Mesh's connectivity layer. And this integration, guys, definitely eliminates the need for long crypto addresses, QR codes and seed phrases, isn't it? And this partnership aims to improve the overall ease of managing crypto across platforms for CoinMena users. And Mesh's connectivity layer, guys, enhances deposits and purchase capabilities for crypto users in the region. And Bam Azizi, the CEO and founder of Mesh, has highlighted the importance of this partnership for Mesh's mission to onboard more users into crypto. Definitely positive news. And CoinMena's co-founders, that is Talal Taba and Dana Sam, have emphasized the platform's role in bridging fiat and crypto for MENA investors. Now look, so far as Talal Taba is concerned, he is very active on LinkedIn. I would really urge you guys to go ahead and follow him. And regarding this partnership, guys, the partnership meets the increased demand for a secure and efficient gateway to crypto markets in the region, and CoinMena users will benefit from an easier way to fund their crypto wallets through this integration. And the collaboration, guys, aligns with CoinMena's commitment to providing a user-friendly and secure trading experience. And Mesh, guys, they aim to make crypto transfers and account integration more seamless for users through its integration with CoinMena. And this partnership definitely reinforces both companies' vision of creating a more connected and secure financial ecosystem in the Middle East. So definitely positive news in my opinion. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss the second news, and this is more of an update, because this particular news, guys, was actually announced by Sheikh Hamdan, and this is more connected to teachers, and he definitely wants teachers to go ahead and utilize more artificial intelligence, isn't it? So essentially, guys, this news is that Dubai schools will soon have AI qualified teachers, and this was announced by Sheikh Hamdan. So let me go ahead and share this update, guys, because Dubai schools will soon have teachers qualified in the field of artificial intelligence. And Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, announced the launch of AI training program for teachers. And the program, guys, will train teachers in using AI and its application to enhance teaching practices. And the top 10 teachers who effectively integrate AI into the classroom will be honored at the AI Retreat 2025. An award for these teachers, guys, will be a total of 1 million dirham and will be presented during the retreat in April 2025. And this initiative, guys, aligns with the recently launched Dubai Universal Blueprint for Artificial Intelligence. Now, I just remembered one thing, guys. It is kind of like the abbreviation for Dubai as well, isn't it? DUPAI, that is Dubai Universal Blueprint for Artificial Intelligence. Really genius marketing move in my opinion. Now, going back to the news, guys, Sheikh Hamdan emphasized the goal is to build a future-ready educational support system that will be supported by AI technologies, and the program aims to equip students with necessary tools for the future and create an optimal AI-driving learning environment. And Sheikh Hamdan, guys, has described investing in education as investing in Dubai's present and future, and the Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence will oversee the program in collaboration with the Knowledge and Human Development Authority as well. And teachers will receive top-tier training on how to use advanced AI applications, and the program, guys, will help teachers integrate AI tools into the classroom to automate tasks and personalized learning as well. Definitely genius move, and the training will include both practical and online components for a well-rounded experience, and the teachers will also undergo regular assessment to ensure effective learning and best outcomes, and the program's goal is to improve the educational system in Dubai using cutting-edge AI solutions, and AI integration in teaching practices will help personalize the learning process for students. And this initiative, guys, is part of Dubai's largest strategy to integrate AI into various sectors, and the AI program reinforces Dubai's commitment to preparing its education system for the future. Definitely genius move in my opinion. So look, as I've said this thing so many times, so far as artificial intelligence or cryptocurrency or blockchain is concerned, the government of Dubai in particular and other Emirates as well, they're definitely very proactive. They're definitely onboarded into different departments as well. I can't think of any other country that does that. Definitely genius and brilliant move in my opinion. So these were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency, blockchain and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. I have a question by Josh who asks, what are your thoughts on the role of decentralized storage in preserving media and content for the future? Now look Josh, I totally like this idea, but we always need to remember the whole blockchain trilemma problem. Now according to me, at least for now, I don't see a brilliant use case, and we also need to look at some of the benefits centralized entities have. Now regarding blockchain trilemma problem, I believe I do have a standalone episode explaining what blockchain trilemma problem is. So essentially we're talking about scalability, we're talking about security, and we're talking about decentralization. Now according to me Josh, no protocol is fully decentralized, offering full-on security as well as managing or exceeding scalability that centralized entities offer. Because look, if something goes wrong, let's say in your storage, you can actually go and sue the centralized entity, isn't it? I'm not saying that centralized storage is best, considering the fact that there's so much of censorship going on, particularly in US elections as well as in the UK. I would definitely like to see a more distributed storage platform. But look, on a positive note, I do think that decentralized storage is crucial for preserving media and content in the future, especially now the digital world is growing rapidly, isn't it? And one of the benefits is the elimination of centralized control, which just means no single entity can censor, delete or manipulate content, and this is a significant advantage when it comes to preserving historical records, independent journalisms, or even creative work that might otherwise be vulnerable. But you also need to remember, what about let's say child pornography, or things goes against the very ethos of being a human being? That being on a decentralized storage is definitely not ideal, isn't it? Now on a positive side of decentralized storage, I do feel that by distributing data across multiple nodes, decentralized storage ensures redundancy, making it more resilient to failures, hacks or even data breaches, and platforms like IPFS or protocols on blockchain networks like Sui Network are already providing these kinds of solutions, enabling tamper-proof archives for media companies or even individual content creators for that matter. But look, what if the US government goes after the Sui network miners or validators if they have them? I'm pretty much sure these validators will turn their back against the users and bend the knee to the government, isn't it? That is my honest thought. But that thing being said, Josh, I definitely would prefer decentralized storage over a period of time, once we're able to solve the blockchain trilemma problem, hopefully. And I strongly feel in a world where information is increasingly seen as power, distributed storage is definitely a step towards democratizing control over content and ensuring that important data, whether it's news, arts or even personal records, remain accessible and secure for future generations. And it's just not about storing data, isn't it? It is also about protecting the truth, in my opinion. Really interesting question. And that's about all, guys, of the Ask Me Anything season Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 am to 8:30 am, we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.